Junkin' Foo over here in Pourville. Welcome to Pourville. Hope everybody's having a good day. Sunshine going over here in Pourville. So, been out here yesterday working on the wheel loader a little bit. Assortment of stuff in the yard. Put the charger on it. It's a little dewy out this morning. A fuel tank on it. A drip. So yeah, we got it running. It's got to do a few things to it. Actually moved it. Got the chain unhooked that was on here. Yeah, sunshine is really bright today. Seems kind of funny. It's actually lifted. I lifted that right there so far. And I almost put it through the fence. Good thing I cleaned the stuff from in front of there before, because it would have pushed it probably through the fence. Because what happened was, it started out, it had reverse and neutral and drive, and I lost reverse on it. And of course I'm not used to running it, so we mowed this over. It was just under there a little bit, and I kept trying to get reverse to back off it, and it kept wanting to go forward. So that was the container I kind of wanted to keep used oil in it on the cement. And it was sitting a little too close. I guess I should have moved it. So we moved it a few feet. I should say I moved it a few feet. Debbie was hiding by the house over there. I don't blame her. So yeah, I finagled the fuel tank up on it. It's a little tricky trying to fill that up there, but it was just a temporary thing. And got a new battery post. I put a new wire that I had around here that I picked up, run that on there all the way under there, and I made them a little longer than they were originally. I put the battery back in there. Just put a new SD card in here, so hopefully this is good to go for a little bit longer. And over here I used a couple, fixed that ground wire there. Used the wire wheel and grounded it all down, or wire wheeled it all down. We'll get a better connection, or a good connection. I actually just took my jumpers on this side of my truck. It was cranking with one battery, but it's always best to use two on these diesels. So yeah, it actually primed up pretty quick. I ended up using a spray bottle with diesel in it, and I had this breather thing off, and I was spraying it in there, and it was smoking. And the injector pump had diesel, but not the injectors. But I broke them loose, and it primed right up good. So then this mess right here, this old oil pressure hose is so brittle, I didn't realize it, but it broke and was pumping oil all over the place. And I just pulled this one off. I said I know I got an oil pressure gauge around here someplace. And I looked over at the old flathead, and I thought that's where there's one at. And I know it worked because that had really good oil pressure. So I took that, and temporarily put it right here. I may mount it right here. I gotta look at the dash. Anyway, hacking on something out here. So I gotta put antifreeze in it. And of course you don't want to prime these, so instead of starting it again, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug out of the bottom of the fuel tank here. And drain the old fuel out. It's probably pretty clean. I just want to make sure. There's where you fill it, which is a little easier, I guess. Maybe kind of hard to get in there with a funnel. I guess I could probably do that. So I got the wiring tightened up. I don't know if I did a video of that or not. Get the wiring all tightened up, and the throttle's running a little fast. There was a spring on there. I'm not sure if I had to pull that off or not, but nothing really. Still got a lot to put back together. The hoods, and these are for the fuel injection lines. Different stuff. A lot of that's got to do with the fuel injection lines. I'm not seeing the spring in there. So yeah, it's running really good. I think today I'm gonna work on it some more. I was gonna start it up for a video, but a little bit tricky. You got to hold the dash up and turn the key and be ready to shut it off. So I'm gonna have to crawl under there again and readjust that neutral drive, because I don't have reverse. I know I got it because it started out with it, but I got a little bit of slack in that cable. I got to figure that out. Shouldn't be too much of a job, hopefully. And seeing it's so damp out here, I don't want to crawl under it yet. So I got to get this thing, and it's been laying on the ground for probably a year. Well, it's got some sand in it. That's wonderful. So these are the fuel filters, and I'm going to take them apart. And this is the fuel pump thing here. You use to pump it. I may have to get a kit for this thing. I hope not, but see if I can free that up. It was free, but it seemed like something was maybe leaking or something on it. I could probably bypass it temporarily. I know one of the last things I was figuring I was going to do, get it back to original, get it all cleaned up real good. Mainly check the fuel on it. The tank looked pretty clean from what I could see, but I thought I'd drain the old fuel out of there and start with new. And this thing here mounts right over here on the side, fairly close to the injector pump. This is the Junkin Fool over here in Porterville. Still playing around with this. Wanted to do somewhat of an update. I did get it running, but like I said, I don't want to start it and have to prime it. It's just not good for the starter, battery, or when you crank on them too much. But it actually started really easy, but I don't want to do that in the middle of winter, so may as well get her done now. And then I got to come up with a couple batteries. I may have to break down buy a couple new ones. I don't know. I take batteries from one thing to another, and so yeah, had to also put this stuff here on. There's 4 wires that go on there, and that was a tight fit. And of course that's copper, and it almost wanted to cross thread, but I got it on there and good and tight. Had to do a little tape job there where it's bare wire. Just kind of using what I got around here. Someplace, yeah, right there's a shut off for that fuel line. I got to blow into that with some air and see if I make sure that ain't shut off. That was fun. I had fun with it. I lifted the hydraulics up. They seem to be working. I run over that. Whoops. I think in the positive thing, that's a good chunk of real stainless, I think. So I guess I will scrap that eventually. I don't know. I probably can't hammer it back out. Another thing I got to do, I don't have to, but I'm going to get in here and oil this all up, because up and down works good, but back and forth, it's a little sticky. It works. Everything works on it, but it's just a little bit hard to pull. So I'm going to get in there and oil all that up too. Maybe get in there with the hose and clean it out real good and put some oil and see if I can get it going. But yeah, it lifts up pretty high over the top of that fence. I think that's 9 foot. Yeah, that's 9 foot 6 inches at the top of that fence. So it'd probably go up a little higher. Picking away at it a little bit at a time. Seems funny, the forks are down. It was a little tricky because I got the chains were all wrapped around there holding it up, and I'm like, which way is this thing got to go? Because it acted like it wanted to do a lot of pulling on the chains, and I didn't want to bust something on it, or so. Been quite a project, but it's getting close to the end. This was already broke when I got it, so I'm going to redo that. I might even get fancy and put the lights in it. That shouldn't take too much. Maybe, I don't know. Have to pull it off there maybe and get heated up with a torch or something. Got a few things to do before I get to that, but so I'm going to work on it a little bit today, and tomorrow we got a few things we got to do today. If I can get that fuel pump or that fuel tank checked out. Hopefully it don't rain. And then I'm going to take this apart this morning here and check the filters out, see if I can actually just clean them or if I need to go replace them. I'm not sure. I think these things just pop on there. Well, let's see if we can take a look. Probably can't do it with my hand, can it? Nope. Don't really want to break that. That's glass. Yeah, I'm sure there's people out here that's done these before. And I probably put my screwdriver away. Anybody sees that screwdriver? Yeah, I got a minute. Let's go take a peek. See, it's still recording. Well, thanks for stopping into Poorville. Got a few projects, a couple things in mind for this thing. Looks like an old rusty brake tool. Or something. I don't know if that'd be a brake tool or not. I'm sure it's made for something. Almost looks like one of them deals you adjust the brake drums with. Better try this side. I'm kind of close to the glass on that side. Kind of hard to... Yeah, I brought that tripod and I broke it. Didn't last long.